Alrighty. Oh, put on my. If you wear sunglasses, you can be honest, and people think you're doing a character.
Do you always wear sunglasses? What are you hiding from, man?
Hiding from the world. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Fat Benji podcast. I am Benji, and I'm still getting fatter. That's the Fat Benji promise. I will say this. I'm super proud of myself because as I am getting fatter, I'm pretty sure I'm roughly 40 pounds heavier than I was when I was on TV. I am getting fucking stronger. I recently bench pressed 200 pounds, and I put it up a few times on my 5th rep. So I'm feeling fucking strong.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
You bench 200.
I'm really strong.
Let me feel your muscles. Come here. Let me feel these fucking muscles. Whoa! What the fuck? I did not expect that, dude.
Okay, so like I said, yes, I'm getting fatter, but I'm getting stronger. And I feel good about it. And
also, what's your goal? Because you can't have Fat Benji podcasts and be looking the way that you do, dude.
I don't look fat enough?
No.
I'm baiting people to compliment me. You've already fallen into my trap.
No, but you're pudgy at best. Like,
again,
really?
You're building me up right now.
I know, but with those fucking muscles,
I'm gonna be thick.
Come here, dude. Let me suck your dick. Dude, no, literally, what do you weigh?
I weighed myself before I took a dump with clothes and shoes on, and it was around 170.
Wow.
But when I was on TV, I was like 130, 128.
So if you get to 200, then I think you're fat.
Yes.
Can you get to 200?
Oh, I can do anything, buddy.
Well, no, I mean, yeah, but are you going to be happy about it? Or is this going to be...
And, okay, so lately in my text group with my townie friends, I
like your LA, your Beverly Hills townie friends?
Yes.
Dude, those are not townies, my friend.
They're fucking townies.
No,
They're locals.
When I text...
They do what their daddy does.
Fuck,
That's a townie.
Dude, you don't even know what... I'm from Indiana, dude.
Ryan O'Neal, everyone. Let me give you a proper introduction. This is Ryan O'Neal. He's an amazing comedian.
Yeah, I look like a fucking vet coming back from Vietnam in 1974.
I want to say this, because I've always known you're German.
Yeah.
And now with the shaved head, you look like the IT guy amongst the neo-Nazis, like smarter than them, but like your German is popping right now, dude.
Oh, dude, for real, yeah. No, I'm like an attorney for a militia group.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm digging it.
You're like, I'm an attorney, I'm also a member.
So yes, I know you are a hillbilly. I meant to ask you about that.
Yeah.
Because...
Do you want to talk about it now?
Well, you brought it up.
You're in the middle of the monologue, though. I don't want to interrupt.
Okay. Back to the monologue. Oh, you'll like this. I got more hillbilly stuff.
Okay.
I recently did this.
Dude, I still can't get over townies.
Okay,
fucking rich Beverly Hills kid are my townie friends.
A lot of them didn't grow up that rich.
I mean, but what does that mean? Like they were in they were south of Santa Monica in Beverly Hills?
One guy in the group, yes, from Beverly Hills, grew up in a duplex mostly, south of Wilshire.
And you guys rub it in his face every day.
No, because he does have a pretty dope trust fund. I think he was just...
Okay, so his parents were like smart. They're like, we have a trust fund, but we're not going to blow it. We're going to live in a duplex.
I guess. Well, his parents were separated, and his mom lived in the duplex, and his dad lived...
In a fucking mansion.
Nicer place, yeah.
Okay.
So that's him. I can go through the townies.
Yeah, go through the townies. I'd love to hear...
The other one, I think, yeah, again... There's only one person in the townie group with me who grew up north of Santa Monica.
Okay.
So the other one, again, south of Wilshire, but he grew up, I think his parents had some money, but not like...
Yeah, not like fucking...
Yeah, but they're fine.
Not like Illuminati style membership money.
Right, and they're fine.
Okay.
And then...
because I think your definition of money is way different than my definition of money.
I know. We all know, right? All right, anyways, let's move on from that. Other hillbilly stuff you might really like. I did this today. I'm super proud of myself. So my grandparents, my aunt, they all have American flags on their houses. I grew up raised by Republicans and stuff. And
yeah,
so lately I've been thinking about doing it, but I live in a pretty kikey neighborhood, and you know how they are.
Yeah.
Not a lot of American flags in my neighborhood. I'm in Encino. But then the other day...
you moved?
I moved to Encino, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I do love it, though. Not to put down my people for being cons.
but...
my pool guy, he comes over, and he's got, like, on a militia-esque hat. It's like, you know when you see the guy with, like, the American flag hat, but the American flag looks a little dark and sinister?
Does it also say just America?
No,
There's no A on it.
Instead of stars, it was deer heads.
Oh yeah.
You know that one?
Oh yeah, dude.
So all of a
Fuck
sudden I was
yeah.
like, "Hey, dude, cool hat." Because as you know, we were just talking about guns and stuff. Me and Ryan before the podcast started.
Yeah.
So I'm like, "Hey, like, cool hat, dude." And he's like, "Thanks, man." I'm like, "You hunt?" And he's like, "Yeah, I do hunt." I'm like, "Where are you from?" And he's like, "Simi Valley," which is where a lot of the
Yeah.
whites are. You know.
Oh, I know Simi Valley. That's where the shooting range is.
Yeah, Smoke and Barrel or whatever it's called.
Dude. Yeah, you're talking my language now, dude. I meet guys when I go out, when I take my quad out to the desert to ride, I always run into guys from Simi Valley.
What's funny is you live nowhere near there,
No.
but all the shooting ranges around you are like Armenians and Arabs and stuff. And you're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'll take the trek to Simi, thank you.
The crazy thing is I'm in like the heart of Hipsterville, but yet I drive out to Simi Valley to be with my own people on occasion. Just so I can like detox from all the hipsters.
A lot of the cops live in Simi. Anyways, so after this talk with my pool guy, I was like, I gotta quit being such a fucking bitch. And so today, I put an American flag on my house. And I'm literally, yes, inspired by Toby Keith,
Thank
amongst
God that
other
you did
things.
this. Thank God you did this.
And so I'm literally like, I live on a long street, dude. And
Yeah.
in my whole neighborhood, I don't see any American flags. I'm literally the only American flag house.
now you need to get one of those lawn jockeys.
Oh, boy. So cheers. And
Congratulations on the flag.
yes, thank you. We're drinking Belgian beer, which is this Belgian? Oh, Belgian style.
It's Belgian style.
And you mentioned before when I poured this for you that you like anything Belgian.
I like Belgian. I'm not a big IPA guy, but also I'm not a fucking bitch. And if it's a beer, I'll drink it.
I have some Belgian in-laws, and they've got some like military stuff up on the wall. And
Like-
it looks pretty German soldierish.
So
Pretty similar.
maybe they used to be another nationality,
I
and
think maybe he was. I think you guys would get along pretty good if you ever want to come by for Easter when I go to my in-laws' house.
This is the word fleeing. Does that ring a bell with them?
They're good. We're good. We're
Yeah.
good. We're all good. Also, today's
It's
a
been
big...
a long time. Yeah, there's no grudges anymore. I mean,
Who's got the
Not on
grudge?
the Germans' parts. There's no
Why
grudges.
would you have the
being
grudge?
held.
You killed 6 million Jews.
I did not. Okay.
Okay.
I was my mom had to flee. She was born in Czechoslovakia, and then the Russians were coming, and they were doing a lot of raping. So my grandmother had to take everybody and flee.
Wait. I'm confused. The Czechs came to Germany and started
No.
raping
My mom
people?
was born in Czechoslovakia, technically, during World War II. And then the Russians were coming down.
To rape.
Well, that was just a bonus of invading and trying to take on the Nazis.
So they left.
So they left. Yeah, so they had to take off in
And
the
then
middle
they came
of
to
the war.
America?
No, then they just stayed in Germany. My mom didn't come to America until she was 28.
So you're German on your mom's side?
And
German.
then so my great-grandfather came here from Ireland when he was 12 by himself
I see.
on a steamship. And
No
then
way.
my mom got here when she was 28. So technically, I'm the son of an immigrant. No big deal.
I'm the son of an immigrant.
I know, but it doesn't
Feel the same.
Yeah, it's not like I have never thought that in my life.
Yeah, you're comfortable around Christmas trees.
Yeah.
Not me.
So I've got the Irish fucking German in me. I got the drinking, and then I got the fucking conflict side.
I'll say this about you, dude. You are a fun drunk.
Fun drunk? Oh,
Dude,
yeah. I
and like
saw-
earlier today, you were like, "Oh, I don't want to drink before I have to do comedy night." And in my
Yeah.
head, I'm like, "You're amazing
know.
drunk."
Now that I've had a sip, I may have opened the floodgates to like we might have 10 of these fuckers because I didn't drive here, and I always drive. Part of the reason I drive is so that I don't drink, but now there's no cars involved. I might just get fucked up.
It's funny because I messed up around the time and we got here too early, and I was like, "Ryan, do you want to go have a drink before the podcast to kill some time? I'm so sorry I messed up the scheduling." And you were like, "No, I shouldn't drink before my set." And then when we got to the studio, I was like, "I have some beers. You want one?" You're like, "Yeah."
I'll take a beer. Yeah. Also, I will say, we did do at the time that I originally wanted to do that you fought me on. 9 o'clock. We recorded 9 p.m.
To explain,
Does that hurt?
no, let me explain.
It's the
So-
king of the negotiators, dude. This is not.
I
this
reached
does not
out-
look good.
I reached out to Ryan. Will you do my podcast? Yes, I'll do your podcast.
First, I got 16 texts from your assistant.
Yes, I have someone helping
Yeah,
me.
a local fella
Yeah.
I thought this was like a guy doing. I thought this was a legit guy.
He's pretty legit.
No, I thought this was like a UCLA student.
No, he is a student. He's
But he's like community
therapist.
college guy.
No, he's going to Pepperdine to become a therapist.
Oh, never mind. I
Yeah.
take it back.
He's one of mine, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah, the guy with a mustache.
Okay, so anyways, we were supposed to do this podcast at 8, but Ryan was negotiating with me to do it later because he wanted a podcast appointment that was closer to the late spot he had to do at the store after this. And then I negotiated him down to 8 p.m., but then when we got here at 8, I realized I scheduled this at the wrong time. And then we had to wait for an engineer to show up, and it ended up being at 9, so he won.
King of the Jews, baby.
Superior race.
King of the Jews.
So today's a big day for me. My wife and I are struggling to have a kid, so we got to do all this.
How do you struggle? It's just not happening.
My cum sucks. It's why your people killed me.
Wait, I would like to look at it.
My cum?
I would love if you had a sample of it. I would fucking look at it under a microscope.
I could give you the breakdown of the stuff.
Is it just kind of fucked up? Like the tails are fucked up?
The only thing that's good about my cum is the volume. I have a normal amount of
Oh, you have a
matter.
normal, okay. But you don't have like a huge fucking load.
No, I'm average to slightly above average in terms of the volume of my load.
I would love it if you gave like the cup with the load in it and someone's like, whoa.
They never do.
They don't.
And
they're not
honestly-
impressed by anything.
I may have brought this up on the podcast already, but once you finish into that cup, because when you come on a lady's body and you look at it, you go, oh, that's a pretty good amount, or that's a lot.
Sometimes it's a long stream. Sometimes you'll get one that hits them in the chin.
Yes, or their hair or whatever.
Yeah.
But in the cup, it looks like a lot less. So even though physically you're like, oh, that's a lot. When
I
you
think
look
they
in the
do
cup,
that too intentionally, though. They give you. I think they could go with a smaller cup because, by the way, it would probably cost less for them.
You get a cup that's too small, and then you can't get all the cum in there.
I know, but it'd be nice. You know what? You're paying a lot. Fucking medical insurance costs a shitload. You go in there. I would like a little bit of somebody going, oh, very nice. Like, is that going to hurt them?
It's an uncomfortable situation. So you're
Can you take your wife in there to just jerk you off?
No, she's she's unconscious, getting eggs extracted from her.
They're like, while she's unconscious.
And so we're doing
you
that
have
on
to go.
Sunday. We're doing that on Sunday.
Fuck.
And then so today,
By the way, I would be so embarrassed just because it's like, yeah, you bring it there and they know you beat it.
You masturbate there.
I know, but they're not watching you at the reception.
No, you go into a room.
Yeah.
And then you have to walk up to a guy with your cum cup. And
Oh, it's a guy?
the guy receives my cum cup, yeah.
Fuck. That's tough, man.
Why?
I don't know.
For him? For me?
It's just like, you're like, yeah, you were just beaten off in there. It's so weird.
But it's business as usual. And there's even like today, the doctor came and like sat next to us for a moment in the waiting room to be like, okay, so we're going to have you on Sunday. Okay. And then like in front of a good amount of people, she's just like, and just so you know, Benji, make sure to ejaculate by 5 p.m. And I'm just like, okay. But it's just, everyone there is dealing with something, so I'm not even that
so you're not
embarrassed.
jerking it in the office anymore?
No, I am.
Oh, you are? Okay.
I need to abstain from coming for 36 hours.
So she has to tell you, she's like, don't jerk it for fucking...
No coming out. But I missed
day and
it.
a half.
I missed it. I didn't come yet, so I'm going to come a little after 5.
Okay.
But then I'm going to do like proper power lifts tomorrow to try to re-up my cum.
Have you ever thought about saving it for like 10 days to just blow a massive load?
Yeah, I don't think it helps you. I think after a certain amount of time, I think ideally it's like a 2 to 4 day wait. Like I've done enough of coming for doctors at this point that I know that that's not
How many
ideal.
times have you come for doctors?
Dude, it's a whole thing. So first they have to check your cum when they have to figure out why you guys aren't having a baby properly naturally.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's like I'm coming in a lot of cups.
Do they now, since there are no magazines or anything involved, it's just what, straight porno on the computer or something in the
They
bathroom?
offer you a TV monitor in the hair and a way to do stuff, but I just use my telephone.
Okay. So, but you can choose porn in the bath or wherever, the jerk room?
In the jerk room, they offer you some sort of TV, but I don't use it. I just go on my phone.
You tell them, do you get a discount? You're like, I didn't use any of your subscriptions.
Dude, this shit's so expensive. You know how much my fucking...
Oh, I can imagine.
16 grand for this egg extraction. That's just this part, not even the appointments and the medicine.
Fuck,
Yeah,
dude. It's a racket, man. And how many times have you done it?
The egg extraction, this is our second one. But there's also been all sorts of appointments that have gotten us here.
Okay.
Yeah. You want to hear what I've learned from all this?
What?
I think part of the reason that the medical community is pushing all this transgender fuck up people's genitals and hormones when they're young. It's because
Why?
they're feeding into the industry, because then you're 15 and you're gender dysphoric or whatever it's
Oh,
called.
they just want to. They
Fuck you
want
up.
growth.
And then when you're 25, you go, well, now I want to be a woman and have babies. They go, well, you did a lot of fucked up shit as a teenager. It's going to cost you probably $200,000 to have a
Okay.
baby.
So you think all of this is just? I mean, it's just
feeding into the medical
it's
industrial
big
complex.
it's big fertilization,
partially.
big fertility.
Well, first they make money off mutilating your dick and giving you hormones, or mutilating your pussy. And
I
giving you
like it
hormones.
though. They're making there's new science. I hope to have my balls relocated to a less sensitive part of my body.
Yeah.
No, not right there. I put them under my armpits. But I mean, if you break your leg, you're pretty fucked with crutches. But
As a hillbilly, did you ever deal with like infertile animals? Like, did you ever
Oh.
have like a pig that you really wanted to impregnate, and you're like, this is a
No.
prize pig, but we can't get this one pregnant?
well, we would do fertilization.
Oh, you
We would do it ourselves.
You would
Yeah. You pay like
a stud.
Well, yeah, you can get like you can have the cum. You get the cum extracted by a vet, and then they just do the fertility right there. You line them up. We bring them into the barn. We run them through the head chute. When they're in the head chute, then he just puts the cum inside them.
So wait, you had pigs?
We had pigs. We had sheep. We had 120 head of cattle. We had pheasant, quail. We raised wild turkeys.
No way.
At one point, my dad was in the 90s, 80s, 90s. There was an ostrich boom. Everyone was like, ostrich meat is going to be the fucking meat. So we almost bought a breeding pair of ostriches, and they were like 30 grand. And then the bottom fell out of the ostrich market, and then they were like $800.
Oh fuck! So you
So there's
almost,
bubbles in farming.
but you didn't buy those expensive
No,
ostriches.
but we almost
Luckily.
did. And then we almost got into buffalo too. Back whenever, it's like a hype train. Whenever it's like electric cars, everyone's gonna have them, and then you're like, well, maybe hybrid's the way
They're
to
like
go.
the homos in WeHo are eating ostrich.
Yeah, so they're like, yeah, bison, dude. It's a leaner meat. So we almost got into the buffalo racket too.
But bison is kind of around. It's a little niche.
Still around,
but it's not
it never took off.
right.
It never took off like they thought it was going to in the 80s.
I like bison.
I do too.
I wish it was around more.
I wish we would have raised buffalo.
Every time I see bison on a menu, I'm like, tell me about this. I think I want that.
I know it doesn't. The problem is it's not good for burgers because it's too lean.
Yeah.
You got to get that fat in there. So like everybody wants to barbecue, so it's not a good barbecue and fucking thing.
But you know what you can do with a bison? You can do like a meatloaf, and then you put all the other shit in that meatloaf, and it'll be nice and juicy.
Yeah. But yeah, so then we had all that stuff. But yeah, I would castrate. The pigs are the worst thing you can castrate, but also the pigs can handle any infection. Because I would have to hold them. I would turn them. I'd grab them by their hind legs when they were, not tiny, but like they're still pretty heavy. And then I would squeeze their head between my legs, and my brother would make 2 incisions. Then he'd pull out the balls, and then he would cut them, and then you would run. But one time, intestine came out because it started squirming, and then with the scalpel it nicked it. So my dad just sewed it back up with like baling twine. It went back out, put some iodine on it, went back out into all, it's just the roaming and pig shit. Never had a problem. That thing grew up to be huge.
Why'd you castrate that pig? Just because you didn't want it to breed because it was a shitty pig to
Yeah,
to
also
breed?
like you want to sell it. You also if you get all the boars, yeah, then they're all going to be fucking, and they're also more aggressive and everything. You have to break their tusks off when they're young. It's fairly looking back now at my life now, it's hard to believe that was my life then. But you would take pliers and you would, when they were little, and you would snap their teeth, their tusks, so they wouldn't grow, and fucking start gorging. What is it? Gording?
I don't know.
Goring.
Did any of the animals breed naturally, or were they all artificially inseminated? Were there any ones that you like, hey, leave those two in a barn together and they'll fuck?
So we bought this giant bull, and it turns out the bull was too big to breed with some of the cattle. Like he was gonna break their fucking back. And we got sold this bull kind of under false pretense. Like, this thing's fucking great, blah, blah, blah. And then when we got it there, we're like, this thing's too fucking big. So then we started artificially inseminating them.
With that bull's cum?
Yeah. But you would and also the problem too is like if you have a bull that's too big, then you're going to have some birthing issues. Like the calves may be too big. So then you run into that issue. And that's, my dad had a cow the calf was too big and it was stuck as half out, but couldn't get the rest of it out. And he was like standing on it, pulling its hind legs, couldn't get out. So he had to tie a chain around its legs. And then he tied the other part of the chain to the bumper of his truck. And then he just floored it and pulled it out. And the calf survived. The mother survived. It was a whole fucking.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's a wild thing.
I went to a rodeo last year for the first time, and that was fucking wild. Would you go to rodeos as a kid?
I would not go to. We would do livestock auctions and stuff. But my first rodeo that I ever went to, I went to Calgary Stampede. Mm-hmm. And that was the first time. I guess Calgary invented the fucking rodeo. I didn't realize it.
Brutal shit.
Yeah, and there's a lot of Brazilians.
Hillbillies getting their shoulders dislocated.
Oh, dude, it's brutal.
Calves, like tearing their ACL and shit.
Yeah, and people fucking they constant concussions, like nonstop concussions.
The one thing that makes the animal abuse okay is how fucked up the people get.
Yeah,
because you're feeling bad for the animals, and then the people get really, and then you're like, they're all fucking. They're all one. It's not like abuse. It's collective abuse.
But it's amazing how many Brazilians have like taken over the rodeo scene.
Really?
Like they win a lot of these bull riding competitions.
Are they doing rodeos in Brazil?
I think so. Because they ended up, they cut on all the rainforest for cattle and shit.
Yeah, no, they're cattle
So
people,
then they, they're cowboys. So now they just dominate the fucking professional bull riding. It's pretty impressive.
Do you miss it at all? Like now that you're a fucking LA cuck, fucking living in Eagle Rock
it's like
or whatever?
I just had a guy come over and fuck my wife in front of me. Literally. That never would have happened.
I miss pigs, fuck my wife.
Yeah, I was like, I used to be a man. I used to castrate cattle. Now this guy, I invited him over to fuck my wife.
Is your life at the end of the rainbow like being back on a ranch with stuff, or like you grew up around it? There's no, because city folk have this romantic thing where they're like, I'm gonna get a farm and raise chicken, and it's like but like
my wife has that,
right?
And I was like, she wants a dog, and I go, look, I got to be honest with you, I've had hundreds of like pigs that if it got cold in the winter and like a pig had just given birth and like. A snowstorm, blizzard's coming. Like, we would take all the pigs into our house in town, and we would have them in our basement. We had a cow in our backyard in town for like 6 months, 8 months. It got out. It was like a news story where the cow had escaped. It was running through downtown. So I feel like we also had so many cats. I probably had 100 cats in my life.
Was your house kind of gross? Like, was everything kind of gross?
I mean, we grew up at a motel. So
right, because your dad owned a motel.
Yeah, and we lived there for a long time. And then my grandparents had the farm about 10 miles away, and we ran the farm. So, but one thing I do miss is in LA, you don't realize when you're a kid, the farm was 843 acres. So, like, you can go out and do whatever you want. And that's the thing I miss. Like, you can go out and shoot guns, you can go out and hunt, you can go snowmobiling. You can just go four-wheeling. Like, you do whatever you want. And then when you realize that's gone, that hits hard, where you're like, wow, I didn't realize that this isn't how it always is.
So you do miss it a little bit.
I do, but I don't miss the responsibility.
Right. There's a lot to do.
Because the motel business is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Right.
So is the farm business.
There's always something to do at a farm.
Yeah. And also, like, I've been called up in the middle of the night and been like, thunder spooked the cattle. They've run out on the highway. One of them got hit. Now it's pouring rain. Like, I'm on a four-wheeler. My dad's in a truck and my brother's in another four-wheeler. And we're trying to like corral these cows that have run over in the neighbor's field and shit. And so, it's all, you're always on call. It's like fucking being a doctor.
That is so much freedom for a kid to have. Because in my head, I go, if your dad owns a motel, that means when you're a teenager, you always have like a room to fuck in that's empty. You didn't?
I mean,
or then you have a farm. Where
but you don't
also like you have like the ability.
Yes, the farm was good for fucking because you could take your car out there, or you could lay a blanket down. You could go out and fuck. But realistically, if you have access to a bed, that's the best place to fuck.
Well, but you need privacy from your parents or whoever you might get in trouble.
So
doesn't the motel offer, like, you never could get into an empty motel room?
You'll like this. So we lived for 10 years in the motel. And at one point in the motel, there's like an apartment. Like, there's the office, and you open the door, it says private, and that's our living room. And then my dad cut a hole in the side of this like apartment that's attached to it, and he bought a mobile home. And then he just attached the mobile home.
Oh my God.
So we like doubled our living space. But it was the most white trash. Here's the thing.
You don't got to tell me what it is. We all know what it is.
But I struggle with this because, yes, on paper it's white trash. But here's the deal: I summered in Germany with my family over there. Like we would go visit my grandmother and all this. So we would go to museums and we would do all this cultured shit. And also the inside of the motel was furnished with like Henredon, which was like super high end. Like it was very classy and it was very well furnished. It's a mobile home that's attached to a hole that's been cut into a fucking apartment. So I struggle with, am I white trash or am I not? I mean, on paper it would look like it.
Dude, I don't think you are. Like I know you're a very bright guy. You're really smart.
Yeah.
And also,
I like how yeah, of course I.
But also, it's like we said, like now there's this thing where city folk want to feel like they live on a ranch, or they'll get an Airbnb, or they want to have chickens, or they want to have quail, or they want to grow their own potatoes. And so, yeah, the fact that you did that, like my brother lives in Malibu, and he has goats and chickens, and he's growing shit, and he's teaching his kid, but like...
But is
like,
it, yeah.
He would be jealous of what, like he wishes he could do with his kids what your childhood was.
But like all our neighbors were pure hillbillies.
Right.
Like far, like
but
real...
you grew up smart enough to know to get away from, like, or like you...
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's the benefit is like my dad was really smart, but like a fucking lunatic. So like the motel business was great for him. And my mom's very smart, but you struggle with like, I grew up very fucking like, we used to drive the snowmobiles down the highway and stuff. We used to, we would ride with couches in the back of pickup trucks. And we had a pumpkin patch at one point in the front of it. We would sell pumpkins at Halloween. We sold fireworks on, during the 4th of July and shit.
But that's fun.
No, I know, but it is like, it's hillbilly shit.
But
my dad had multiple trucks that were all beat up, and he would just take license. He wouldn't buy registration for them. He would just take license plates off one and put it on the other and drive around with, and he always had a beer with him. And there was always empty cans of beer, or there was like a fucking, like a makeshift cage where we would take sheep to the livestock auction. So I would drive to school in my truck that my dad had borrowed, and there would just be sheep shit like hanging off all sides of this thing. So on paper, I was definitely high hillbilly. Like
but you're
very
elevated.
high.
But you're elevated. And now this brings me to my next question.
Okay.
You are now very prepared for the apocalypse.
Yes. Yeah. I'm not really that worried about it. Like, I'm like, oh, this would be like we would upgrade our lifestyle if the apocalypse came around. I'd be like, I'm immediately taking everything I have, and we're just gonna drive down the street. We're gonna take over a fucking mansion. We're just gonna kill everybody in there. And my wife gets tired of hearing about what I'm going to do whenever the shit goes down.
I always say I'm gonna kill people's dogs. I'm gonna hunt your dog and eat your dog.
I would definitely, yeah.
I bet you in the apocalypse, because right now we're like acquainted, not acquainted, we're friends.
Yeah.
But I think apocalypse hits, and I think it ups our friendship.
I agree, because I didn't know you were a gun guy and all this stuff. It's, you're out in Encino. This is a good place to be.
We're on our walkie-talkie. We have, hey, I'll trade you some rice for some 9mm.
I've got some old walkie-talkies with the giant antennas. Those are going to come in. My wife tells me to throw them away. I go, these are going to come into play at some point. All right, we're not going to have cell service anymore. We're going to rely upon these for communication.
If you want to come by and have some Labrador during the apocalypse, you're more than welcome.
How much water do you have right now?
I should have more. I'm probably at like 50 gallons.
Okay, that's great.
It's better than nothing.
I only have like 30.
But I'm in Encino, and there's reservoirs.
True.
So I'll go to a reservoir, and again, I live around commie liberal idiots.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna go door to door.
Yeah, immediately just go, hey, just give me
Hi,
your shit.
I'm the only guy with a gun here.
Yeah.
Give me all your water.
And the other thing is,
what are you gonna do?
I'm not, like, if somebody pulls a gun on me, I'll be like, not the first time, my friend. Not the first time.
Right.
So there I have it up. I'm already up. I'm like, dude, go ahead, man. I've been in this situation.
It's funny because we're comedians. There's also like a certain amount of like mental illness here that when someone's like, blah, 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 you're like, yeah, not shaking, dude.
No, it's all mental illness, dude. My dad, like, I was raised around criminals. My dad's best friend killed the fucking guy that was fucking his girlfriend. He spent the rest of his life in prison. The guy who came, the first time I ever saw Santa Claus was my dad's buddy Boogie. And my dad picked him up at jail and then had him come to our motel and play fucking Santa Claus. And then they went out drinking after that. Like, it's been nonstop criminal. We had a guy from America's Most Wanted that once stayed at the motel. Mm-hmm. We go, my mom was watching, it was like 2 years later, and she goes, oh, that guy stayed here for a week.
Nice.
So, it's like, it's along a highway. I've seen a lot of things.
How did you end up funny?
I mean, I guess, how do you not in that situation?
Did you have siblings?
Yeah.
You're the youngest?
I have an older brother, older sister, and then I have a younger sister that's 9 years younger than me.
So in a way, you're kind of the youngest.
We're all like Irish twins. Like, my brother and sister are 12 months apart, and then I'm like 18 months apart from my sister. So my brother and sister were in the same grade going through. But they're all lawyers and fucking... Everybody turned out pretty well.
Where'd you guys get the smarts from? Your mom's European side? I'm assuming
no.
They're both bright people.
No, well, my mom...
How'd they meet? Can I ask? Is that too personal to
No,
ask?
no,
I'm so
yeah. My
curious.
mom's dad was a doctor, and her mother was a concert pianist at the Prague fucking symphony. And then my dad, his father was a doctor. And my grandmother's smart, but she just became like a housewife after a while.
So what I'm getting here is that maybe you have an intelligent lineage. Maybe they had the wisdom to know to do hillbilly shit because
it
maybe
made
they're
benefit. Yeah.
They're low-key Ralph Waldo Emerson kind of knowledgeable about nature and being of the earth.
Well, my grandfather bought the farm because he's like, this will be a great investment, just land. And he was right about that. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, I think my parents met in Germany, in Heidelberg. My dad was going to be drafted in Vietnam, so he's like, I'll just enlist, because if you enlisted before you were drafted, you would get a higher rank.
Oh, okay.
And so he's like, fuck it, I'm going to Vietnam. At least I'll go in there just like a rank above just a regular, I don't know what the ranking system is.
Some scaredy cat singer-songwriter.
Yeah, and he wanted to go. He's like, all right, I'm going, I'm down.
Love it.
And so, but my dad played basketball, and he had the Indiana State free throw record in high school for like 20 years. He was a great basketball player, played at Purdue, all this stuff. So he's in Heidelberg training to go to Vietnam, and some fucking sergeant sees him playing, and he goes, you're not going to Vietnam. You're just going to join our basketball team. You're just going to, for 4 years, you're going to travel around Europe just entertaining the troops, playing like, they played like Olympic teams from other countries.
Beautiful.
And then, and so
I'm ready to kill. You're ready to take jump shots.
Literally, like, if anybody on the team had a problem with somebody, that guy would find that guy and then immediately send him to Vietnam in like the worst place ever. It was insane. So my dad's had kind of a charmed life like that. My dad's like he's 6'6". He was a very good looking guy. And he just kind of like, he didn't go to Vietnam, even though he's like, yeah, I'll go to fucking Vietnam. They're like, no. A lot of people didn't want to go to Vietnam and got fucking sent to Vietnam. So that kind of played out through his whole life. And then he met my mom, and then they moved to America after like a few years. And my mom didn't even speak English. And my dad didn't speak German, so. Why
don't you want to have kids? You had like, it sounds like you come from like
here's
farm,
the thing.
fuck, pigs, and
it's too
wealth
much
of the
it.
land.
I've seen too much.
You've seen too much of life and death, and
I don't want the responsibility. I feel like from the moment I was born, I had nothing but responsibility. Because, dude, like my dad would be like, you're not going to school today. You got to fix a broken water line in the backyard of the motel during the winter. So it's like my brother and I would be out there like searching for the leak, and then we'd have to go fix it. Or we'd have to go out and castrate cows. He's like, you can't go to work, you can't go to school today because today's castration day. So I was like, I just don't want that anymore. So I feel like I've raised enough. I'm done. I just want freedom.
I've never understood more why Germans killed Jews. Because I'll tell you why.
Elaborate.
I'm here, like, so part of me is like jealous of your ability. Because of the way you grew up, you understand how to like do all sorts of shit I don't
I
understand.
probably forgot most of it.
Yeah, but you could do it.
If I needed to go back, yeah, okay. Push come to shove.
You can do a lot of shit I can't do because of how you grew up. So part of me is like jealous because I'm like, I wish I knew how to do all that fucking. Because I want to have pigs and chickens and grow shit. And for the most part, like, I didn't put up my American flag. Fucking a guy who works for us did. Like,
you didn't even put up your own American flag. This is fucking I'm disgusted.
I didn't plant my peach
I'm
tree.
gonna pistol whip you. Can you get the gun out? I'm gonna fucking give you one good pistol
Can
whip.
I be honest? Can I be me? No, I didn't put up my American flag. But I was there. I took part in it.
Yeah.
And then my Jew brain goes like, you'd be a good employee. But then I go, no, I know you very well. I'm like, Ryan's not going to be your employee. Quiet your Jew brain. And then I go, oh, that's why they killed us.
Yeah, because you're like, we can't have you.
Right.
And but we want to keep you. We want to harness you.
I think it's not that. I think Jews were really good at integrating into European and German culture.
Wait, so
because we appreciated it.
Are you saying that you're like, because the Germans struck because they're like, the Jews might try to dominate us and like harness us?
Partially.
Okay.
I think
you might be
Jews
onto something.
I think Jews integrated into German culture really well because they appreciated it.
Yeah.
Because Germans are like engineers and blah blah blah, this and that, and Jews are smart.
But they also appreciate art and architecture and all the finer and they, their food's not bad.
Look, I'll just say it. I got nothing to lose. Showbiz, cancel me. I think Germans and Jews are smarter than most other people. And then I think
these views expressed by Benji are also shared by the guest.
I think Germans and Jews are smarter than most other people. And then so I think Jews were keeping up with Germans, and Germans like, we don't know so much. And then I think maybe, I don't know, I'm not a historian, maybe Jews started employing the slightly dumber Germans to then get better than the Germans, and the Jews were like, look at what we're doing. We got all the kind of dumb Germans helping us be better than you. And then the Germans were like, I think it's time to kill you guys.
And this is the stuff they don't teach you in school.
They don't. No, I'm not coming from a place
So you think that really Jews and Germans were rivals?
I don't think so. I think initially probably Jews really appreciated German culture. And then I think it became a rivalry.
And then they're like, fuck. Yeah.
Or just a resentment. I don't think it was a rivalry.
No, it was definitely. I mean,
Jews don't create rivalries.
But there was a resentment because, like economically, the Germans weren't doing well and all that stuff comes in. And the Jews obviously been hunted for thousands of years. So what do? They keep the money within their own neighborhoods and their own culture.
Well, we have to because people hate us.
I'm not even saying that's bad. I'm saying that's a survival. You're like, we're being run out of everywhere.
So you have to make your own thing.
So you got to make your own thing.
That's what showbiz was.
Yeah.
We made our own thing.
Absolutely.
I
wouldn't rely, dude, if you're being fucking run out of everywhere, I would fucking go, we need to be self-employed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or what happens also is, it's happening here, I forget what it was called, but there's a country club that's predominantly Jewish. And the reason it started was
Riviera?
because... No, not the Riviera. Maybe, I don't forget what it's called. But the reason it started was because Jews weren't allowed at other fucking country clubs.
Exactly.
So then you make your own fucking country club, and then it becomes good because you're Jews and you're good at shit.
And that's why the Germans are like...
And now it's getting sued for being racist and not letting because you're now vulnerable to looking like you're only wanting Jews and...
Yeah.
But really, it starts with racism.
And the Germans were like, we want a German-only country. We want our own private country here. No, it's... I don't know. Okay, I think we've solved World War II.
Let's watch the video of P. Diddy kicking that guy. Can we do that?
Dude. That guy? It's a woman.
Oh, that woman. Sorry.
By the way, why did they sit on this for 8 fucking years?
Dude. Okay, we could just discuss it. You've seen it?
I've seen it.
We'll cut it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that means somebody had that video and waited until now to release it.
Do you know he settles all these lawsuits within 24 hours? Like, I think was it the same woman who's in the video or something who sued her?
I think they stayed together for years after he kicked her.
But he settles these things in 24 hours so they don't make headlines.
I think he invites them to parties.
Whatever's going on.
The whole security crew at this hotel is coming to my party. I'll have whatever you want to fuck.
He paid the hotel.
Men, women of all ages. I'm a pedophile and I'm a blah blah. and come over to my party. We got pink cocaine and rap stars.
I think they just goes, hey, I'm going to give you a bunch of shit and I'll send all my celebrity friends to this hotel.
I think it's both. I think he bribes them and would offer them parties. Because there was always a thing. Like, living in LA, sometimes you would hear, like, so-and-so went to a P. Diddy party. Like, I think he created a party culture.
But I still think that a lot more. I mean, you know what anybody will do for fame around here. You know what I mean? I mean, anybody will do. Like, we've witnessed crazy things that people would do.
Dude, that's the... If 10 years ago, I came to you or you came to me and said, dude, I just went to a P. Diddy party. Crazy. He was in the audience and I'd be like, crazy.
Yeah.
People want to go to these fun... Jeff Epstein invites you on his plane and wants to go to... Like, most people are just going to go...
I'm going to go fuck those chicks.
This is what I've been thinking about. I've been thinking about this. We now have this landscape of crazy predators, and I look at P. Diddy, and I'm starting to feel like Woody Allen was maybe the coolest.
You want to rank the pedophiles?
I kind of want to rank the pedophiles.
Here's the thing, though.
Epstein's up there.
I know, but Woody Allen, you got to think the betrayal. He adopted that girl. He raised his own lady.
Okay, but he's
That
kicking
to me is
girls
like-
in a hotel room.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
His wife has a trust fund
Yeah.
and alimony if they get divorced.
I think also Diddy is on the Epstein, like,
You think they're all friends?
I mean, there is rumors that Diddy's like an informant, and that's what kept him safe for a long time.
An informant? What do you mean?
Informant he was a fucking, you forget that at one point P. Diddy was like deep in gang shit too. So he may have struck a deal years ago. And also, like, think about gangster rap. Think about how much this country hated gangster rap. So what does he do? Kill Tupac. So now you have Tupac or whatever. They try to kill, you know what I mean? It's a whole deal. Maybe he's like, I'll take out the guy that has the kids' ears. That's radicalizing the fucking kids. What the government thinks is radicalization. And then he's like, I'll kill that fucking guy for you.
And then I'll make rap music about making money and selling bad vodka.
Yes.
And they're like, we love capitalism.
His fucking shit sucked.
Right.
You know what I mean? He always his shit was just garbage fucking shit. I never, like, he wasn't an artist. He was a businessman.
Right.
And then he's like, you guys, it's the Whitey Bulger effect. You guys look the other way, cover shit up for me. You know how these guys are. They're very bro-y.
What do you mean these guys?
You get in with the fucking FBI, they'll cover shit up for fucking
So you
anybody.
think he got big? He's like, I got the FBI on my side. I'm gonna start fucking kicking ladies in hotel rooms.
And then he's like, oh, by the way, I'll tell everybody what the FBI had me do. I'll start doing fucking shit about that. I don't know. By the way, at this point in time, I don't think anything's far-fetched anymore. I literally think every crazy fucking conspiracy theory, a lot of these things are coming true. It's wild.
How do you feel about his athleticism, the ability to run like that in a towel and throw kicks? The towel didn't fall once.
The towel didn't fall, I also think there's a conspiracy that he's using special towels that loop together so you can beat women without them falling.
I want one of those. I've never hit a woman.
I've never hit a woman either. Oh, no, I take that back. I do a bit about a bar fight in Canada when I was 17, and there's this huge melee. My friends got in a fight with somebody, and I go down there to, like, I was trying to break it up, but I was really just trying to get in on it. And then
you got a call?
No, I was in Canada. We used to drive
Into Canada.
in the middle of the night. We'd drive up to Sault Ste. Marie, Canada, like through the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, because I grew up in the northern part of Indiana. And so I just remember I got punched in the back of the head, and I just turned around and swung, and my buddy was like, a chick punched you in the head, and you punched her in the face.
Okay.
And then all I remember is we were thrown out, but I was pretty trashed, and my buddy goes, you just punched some chick in the face.
But did you tell Jesus you were sorry?
I mean, we're not religious family. My mom sent us to Sunday school, but it didn't do anything.
Honestly, I'd like to have a Fat Benji moment. Will you just say, Jesus, I'm sorry, and you're forgiven?
Yeah. Jesus. Right. You know what I called, when Jesus came back with the resurrection, right? And he had the holes in his hands? I call him the glory hole hands.
Just say, Jesus, I'm sorry I hit a woman, and you get to go to heaven.
Are you religious?
I support Christian nationalism.
Oh, okay. Wow, okay.
I think.
Okay.
Well, I like America.
I'm not going to say, because you know what, Jesus? I'm not sorry. I got punched in the back of the head. It was a melee.
Say you're
by
sorry
a
to
woman.
Jesus. You
and
can go
I
to
turn
heaven.
around to protect
I'm
myself.
Jewish. I'm going to
I
hell
don't
no
wanna
matter
go to
what.
heaven.
I'm going to hell.
I don't want to go to heaven.
All you got to do is just say,
I'll burn
sorry,
in fucking
Jesus.
hell. No,
fucking
I'm
idiot,
Jesus.
dude.
I'm not sorry. I'd do it again.
Dude, if I was a white guy from fucking Indiana, I'd just say, sorry, Jesus.
No, dude.
It's the best religion.
I won't.
You just say, sorry, Jesus,
I
and
don't
you
want
go
to
to
be
the
part of these.
you go to the
fucking
castle in
religions.
the sky.
No. Well, castle. What do you need a castle for? You're in heaven.
Oh, God. Just say sorry, Jesus.
No.
I was born I can't say sorry, Jesus. You
Why?
get to.
Can't you say my Lord and Savior?
No, I can't.
What do you got? You guys have God?
Yeah, but we don't have a thing where it's like, oh, we say sorry and we
So you just want to hear. You just want to see what it looks like.
No, I want you to take advantage of this amazing religion you have where you just get sorry, Jesus,
gonna do
and you're
it.
forgiven
won't.
for hitting a woman.
I do everything.
I can't hit women.
I do everything the hard way. Okay? So, I'm not going to heaven and I don't give a fuck.
Doesn't have to be the hard way. He died for your sins. It's the best
He
marketing
died for
scheme
my sins.
of all time.
He died for my
He
sins.
died for your sins.
And then he woke up with glory hole hands, and all the fucking people were butt fucking his hands.
He's a dead Jew. You're German. You love that. Just say sorry, dead Jew, and go to heaven. You hit a girl. Say you're sorry.
You know what? It was a start.
You hear that, Jesus? He's gonna keep hitting
Jesus.
women.
Jesus, I don't fuck, dude. I don't care. I'm not. I love to say crazy shit about Jesus.
What do you mean?
What are we doing here with fucking Jesus? Come on.
What do you
Get
mean?
the fuck. We're beyond Jesus at this
Oh,
point.
God, maybe you are a Nazi. You're a fucking anti-religious fucking German.
Nazis were
Just like Hitler?
Nazis were super religious.
No, they weren't.
They loved it.
They had no sympathy.
I know. but
Compassion, no compassion.
They fucking prayed to Jesus.
Ryan, I'll
this
tell
is
you
insider
this.
knowledge.
Even if you become a Nazi, I'll forgive you.
I'm never going to become a Nazi.
I'm just
'Cause
saying.
I don't like clubs. I don't like groups. I'm not going to join and then subscribe to your ideology. I got my own shit. If anything, I will start a club. I will start my own group.
What would that look like?
Fuck, dude. It's going to be a bunch of mentally ill, fucking, but capable people. There'll be a lot of autistic people who
Sounds
know
a
how to
lo-
do specific things.
Sounds a lot like a farm.
Yes, it'll be farm-esque. For sure.
You miss it. I bet you miss it, dude. You know, my family's constantly looking for a ranch. My brother used to have a ranch and he sold it. Now he misses it all
Yeah,
the time.
Texas. I know we were going to go once.
Yeah.
Remember that? We talked about it. There's not,
I went predator hunting with him once.
wild boars?
Coyotes. We were trying
Oh,
to shoot
coyotes.
coyotes.
Yeah.
You know, you ever go predator hunting?
Yeah.
Boars aren't predators.
We used to shoot. Coyotes used to come and eat our fucking, eat our pheasant and quail. Like even though we had like a little electric fence around, they'd stick their heads out and then they'd just bite them off. So we were always shooting coyotes.
But there was a time of the year where they're like, all right, predator hunting time. And so what you do is you sit
I feel like,
outside.
isn't predator hunting all the time?
I don't know. I don't know much about this hillbilly stuff as you and my brother. But what I do know is that I sat outside in the dark. And then when you're predator hunting, you get this like speaker.
Yeah.
And it's like
And it makes the calls.
it plays really loudly what sounds like a dying animal to
Yeah.
attract predators. And so you put it out there, and then
So you guys are doing like rich guy predator hunting.
yeah, night vision goggles, a speaker making dying animal noises and trying to attract. But we didn't kill any.
We would always take like a cow that had died or something, and then we'd put it out, and then
with a little fan to put the dead cow.
no,
air
you
everywhere.
just put it out there. They'll
They'll
get
smell
it.
it.
And then we would just sit and wait. Usually nothing. Usually we would fall asleep and shit,
Yeah.
and nothing would happen. Every once in a while you'd get one. When they have a lot of area to roam, you never run into them. You know.
You ever been charged at by a boar?
Well, we used to ride the boars.
Wild boar?
No,
No.
like a big pen.
Oh, I
one.
meant
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a wild boar. 'cause
No. I don't. Oh, no. So there used to be wild boar that we used to go feed in Germany, in the Black Forest.
You would feed the wild boar
yeah,
in Germany?
they would just come up. They've been more or less like semi-domesticated because they knew that people would come feed them. So we used to do that, but I've never gone wild boar hunting. I don't mind shooting, but then you got to field dress. It's all like we used to get a deer every year, and it's just a pain in the ass. And I'm OCD. I don't like my hands getting dirty and shit. So you're always in there cutting guts and fucking, it's a mess.
You've had the coolest life, bro.
You've
You've had the coolest life.
I'm a minimalist now, so that's why I don't want anything.
I want to say this about Ryan too, and I think I've said this to you before, and it's that when I first got hired at the Comedy Store, so back in the day, I don't know what it's like now, but when you got hired there, most of the guys there were doing like the open mic for a few months and like showing up and hanging out to get the job, and I didn't understand that because I was very wary of associative behavior. And I thought,
that's good.
Yes, it is good. Well, it's not. I'm learning now. But I was
what are you missing out on?
I was wary of associative behavior in that I would see people who would hang out and they weren't really good at comedy. And so I was very obsessed with, no, it's about how you are on stage.
100%.
Don't be the person who hangs out. And so at the store, you would put your name on a list and you wouldn't always get a spot there. So I didn't want to do the open mic. I'm like, what a waste of time. You want me to go somewhere and sign up and wait for an hour to find out I don't have a spot? So I wouldn't go there that much. And I would do the Bringer shows. I would do Vargas's shows.
Okay.
And so Bobby...
Well, that's high end, though, for like a fucking... If you're doing open mics, but you're doing the Bringer show.
I didn't do the open mic. So when I got hired there, I didn't know anybody or have any friends because I wouldn't do the open mic.
Okay.
And they were all like, oh, he's a Bringer comic and he got a job here. So I think everyone kind of resented me.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So when I first got there, I had no friends and I didn't think anyone was funny. The only people I thought were funny were you, Jeff Danis, Mac Lindsay,
Mac
and John Little.
Yeah.
And at one point, and so I'm new there, and it was my first cover booth shift. And Tommy, the talent coordinator, is like, well, I'm going to go to blah, blah. I'll be back in an hour. I'm going to go with Mitzi or whatever.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, I'm the cover booth guy for the first time, and I'm watching everyone, and I'm like, everyone fucking sucks.
It was a tough...
They were really bad, remember?
It was bad,
Everyone, pretty honest assessment of who was funny then.
For sure.
2008, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh my God, everyone is so bad here. And one of the only reasons I wanted to stay there was because I thought you were funny and Jeff. So I saw like a light where I was like, some guys here are like super fucking funny, like funnier from what I'm seeing doing the shitty stuff I'm seeing. So Tommy comes back and he's like, all right, I'm back. Puts his little watch all around his neck.
Yeah.
Takes
It was the stopwatch.
He would give him the stopwatch
fucking...
and he would put it on. All right, well, how'd everyone do? And I'm like, are you serious? He's like, yeah, how'd everyone do? And I'm like, this guy's awful. This guy's awful. This guy kind of I was just like, I didn't know he was
being honest.
He was the town coordinator, and I was like, bad, really bad. Like, doesn't even tell jokes. Just like an honest assessment of everyone, dude. Literally, like the next day, I won't say who, but one of the employees comes up to me and he's like, dude, what the fuck did you tell Tommy? And I'm like, well, what? What do you mean? He's like, you told him I'm not good, and I'm just like, oh fuck. So I like dug
Is this a guy that still performs there?
No, he's moved away, but he's my friend, so I won't say who it is.
Okay.
And so that was I learned an important lesson, which is like Tommy maybe isn't the best guy to tell stuff to.
He will narc. But
But
I always kept my opinions to myself.
I didn't know. Well, that's when I learned.
Yeah.
Because I was like, well, he's the talent coordinator and I'm his employee, and he's asking me something. So
I know. I always felt weird because I was like, if I have a bad set, I always felt like I'm one step away from those guys anyway. You know what I mean? Like, I always felt like, oh, at any point, this could just fucking fall apart.
The guys who sucked?
The guys that were
employees who
terrible.
sucked?
Yeah.
No, you weren't.
I still feel like that, where you're like, oh, fuck. This I could be those guys soon enough.
Well, we mentioned it earlier, but like as I get older, I do feel like I'm one step away from becoming old and disconnected.
Yeah, but you always, the crazy thing is like, you got to think, man, you had a TV show that you created. You wrote on shows, you performed, it's like, I get it. You're not selling out stadiums, but at the end of the day, what were your expectations when you came into this game?
That doing those things would make my career better than they are.
But so you found out a reality, but still, you did more.
But didn't you judge a guy like me when you were 25? There was some 40-year-old dude who used to have a TV show. And you were like, "What's this guy doing?
I was
He's
always
not
like,
even funny.
I was
Can't
always like,
sell out a club."
No,
blah,
I was
blah,
always
blah.
like, that guy had a TV show. I was always like, holy shit, that guy had a fucking TV show. Wait, that guy's on the road. I'm still like that, dude.
Right.
I mean, where you go, look, What were your expectations here? That you'd have a bigger house, you'd have more money, or like what?
That I could sell tickets or like
I know, I get it.
the
but
game changed.
The game changed, but also like you're still in it.
Yeah.
And the other part of it is like, if you look at your dreams as a kid, it far exceeded those, I'm assuming. Unless you're like a fucking psycho kid. Like, I mean, you grew up out here, so I don't know.
I'm content in a way. I can't.
I'm not saying, like, you don't have to be content. You can be like, but you can look back and go, wow, I did do stuff.
I think because I'm still exposing myself to my vulnerabilities.
To kids in the neighborhood.
Well, it's like if
you're in Encino, you're like, hey.
No. If I still go to the Comedy Store and accept that I'm going up once a week in the middle of the night.
But that's just a stage.
Yes, but I'm still constantly reaffirming the negative aspects of my career.
I think the people that have the love affair with the Comedy Store are the people that like did it for like 10 years and then moved away. And it holds a soft place in their heart. For me, it's a fucking stage. I don't give a shit. If I can get a spot there, great. If I get a spot somewhere else, I don't give a fuck. If there's an audience and there's a stage, like I'm fine. I don't romanticize about it.
I don't either, but I think what bothers me or what does make it harder is when you go up late at night, there's like this physical aspect of being like, I'm getting older and I'm fucking tired.
I know.
And I can't do my best right now because I'm just like fucking tired.
You're fucking benching 200, dude.
I know, but that's why
you're tired.
Yeah, but whatever it is. So there is this level of feeling like a little like degraded.
I get the late night, but I look at it as the patriotic spot. It's like, give me your tired. Give me your drunk. Give me your uninterested. I welcome you aboard. Now, I did do a real late night spot recently, and I go, this is a waste of my fucking time.
Yeah, and that'll happen sometimes too.
And that is.
And that feeling is tough.
It is definitely tough to deal with, but like at the same time, I look at the longevity and you just go, hey, I'm still in the game. I'm still making a living. And that's literally all you can ask for.
Well, that's why I'm doing this shit.
I know. Look at you, dude. By the way, you haven't burned yourself out yet on podcasts. Do you know how many podcast episodes I've done? I think I'm at like 800 now.
Oy vey.
I know. And at some point, there's going to be 50% of the people that have ever seen me be like, oh, I've heard these fucking tales before. But then you're like, a whole shitload, majority of the population has never heard them.
Right.
So it's one of those things, you're almost coming in fresh, and people are looking for fresh. So in a lot of ways, maybe you've done it right. By the way, whenever you feel ready to do it is the right time to do anything.
Like quit?
Dude, if you're not talking about quitting once a week, then you're not actually doing comedy.
I've always wanted to do a podcast about with people who quit comedy because, like, a lot of writers' rooms are like guys who used to do stand-up and quit.
Yeah.
I want to bring this up. My buddy sent me this. You know who Nick Fuentes is? He's like a big Nazi guy.
Why are you asking me if Dude, I would like to state for the record, I do not support the Nazi organization. I have no affiliation with the Nazi. I have no longer an affiliation with the Nazi organization.
I'll read the
Since
tweet.
my grandfather died, I have no affiliation to the Nazis. And he died in 1948.
Breaking. This is the tweet. Breaking. America's leading Nazi propagandist, Nick Fuentes, accidentally streamed himself watching gay porn today. His fans are trying to blame Mossad and the Jews. So we don't know if it's real. And to be honest, you know, I'm Jewish and I'd like to see Nazis get taken down a notch.
But not that way. But not like this.
And I do believe that it could be a savvy Israeli guy fucking
I mean, dude, if you're when you're like on the target, you guys, the technology that Israel has, they could easily just hack into this guy's fucking camera and watch him.
I believe both.
Porn.
I believe that he could be gay, and I also believe Jews were behind it.
By the way, what a great if they did hack into it, phenomenal.
Fun.
What a great prank. What a great way to take down a Nazi.
And his name's Nick Fuentes, I think. Do you know about Nick Fuentes? Have you heard of him? No.
Why did you ask him? Why are you asking all the fucking guys with shaved? You asking guys with? You have a shaved head, right? Yeah, all the guys with shaved heads in here.
What was the movie that just came out where like the giant worms come out of the sky, out of the ground? Dune. I think Dune 2.
Tremors 4?
I think Dune 2, I'm going to get real. Dune 2 was anti-white propaganda. Did nobody else
Really?
notice that?
Do you think that's right?
Like, I
'Cause
was.
I gotta go protest then.
No, I'm surprised that didn't come up. Like, the whole movie is like the bad guys are these very white guys with no hair.
Oh wait, it was the fucking guy who played Elvis, right?
And
Isn't he
then the
one of white
Elvis guy
Yeah.
like joins like a Muslim tribe
seen it,
to
but-
defeat the white bald people. Did you see Dune? I don't know. Like, I walked out because, again, I'm a Christian nationalist.
Did you walk out?
I did.
And as people, were there other whites walking out, and you go, "Can you just apologize to Jesus?"
I was telling my white wife the whole movie. I was like, "Do you not see what they're fucking doing here?
And she goes, "Oh,
They're making
I
the
see
fucking white
everything
bald
you're
guys."
saying."
And again, I shouldn't be sympathizing with Nazis because you want me
And
dead.
you know what? I bet you anything, a fucking laser was shot down so that you couldn't create more white babies with your white wife. A laser from the clouds was sent down. All the chemtrails were to prevent.
Fuck you, Jesus! I'm gonna have babies with a white lady. Jesus was Jewish.
That's the best way to. Hey, look, honestly, the best way to get rid of colitis is to breed with a white woman.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
it is.
that's partially
If
why.
you're like, I don't want to shit my pants constantly, you got to cut yourself with a fucking white.
Yeah, no, I know. I mean, that's why I'm doing it.
You've
Think
made
I
a good
want
move.
a full-blown Jew baby.
And you have a real white.
Hey, Ryan, welcome to my podcast. I'm Benji's son. Achoo, achoo.
Oh, they have allergies all year.
I do sneeze a lot.
I got allergies in my 30s, and then they went away.
Watch Dune 2 and tell me that that's not anti-white propaganda.
I will watch it. It's coming out on HBO Max. Hey, on May 21st.
Plugging movies he's not in.
I should go to the theaters because I love movies, but it's like, fuck. I see it coming out in like a week, and then I go, I'm going to stay here
Yeah.
and watch it. But I will watch out for I'll keep in mind that this is, you know, my wife is a white. She's a redheaded white. The ultimate white. That's the king of the whites.
I went on Twitter afterwards and I was like, certainly the whites will catch wind of this. And all the whites were like, great movie. I'm like,
Dude,
do you guys not know what?
whites are too stupid.
You watch it and you tell me. I thought it was,
I'll probably just go, this is a cool movie with the worms and shit.
again,
It might go over my fucking head too.
I'm a Christian nationalist.
Are you really? Are you big into religion? What's your fucking deal now? Like, do you want to be? Would you convert?
No, I don't mean in that way.
Okay.
I love America and I think Christians founded America. And so I think if Christian values are part of our country,
You can go fuck your Christian values.
I'm
dude.
okay with that.
I hate.
I think Jews,
No.
if you're a Jew and you can't afford Jewish private school, you got to sing Christmas songs. Sorry, don't be Jewish and not be able to afford private school.
Do you do a
You have to
Christmas
sing
tree?
Christmas songs. I do, but I hate it, and I make my
Really?
wife put Jewish
But
stuff
it's
on
so
it.
fun.
I've ruined it. Yeah.
No.
No, it's pagan. It's pagan shit.
Yeah, I know. That's why I like it.
Yeah, but we're not supposed to be pagans.
No, we should be pagans.
No, Jews and Christians aren't supposed to be pagan.
No,
That's the
fuck the-
foundation of our religion.
Actually, the pagans are the ones who had the best ideas. The Christians then fucking ran them out because their ideas were too good.
You stick your golden calf up your fucking
Dude,
ass. You
I'm
fucking
not. It's like
Antichrist.
Here's the deal. I'm not even like. I'm not right wing, left wing. I'm not even a libertarian. I'm like I want to start the ostrich party, where it's just no wings work. We just put our head in the fucking sand, let the world burn, and then we'll pull our head out of the sand afterwards.
You're an
and
anarchist.
We're done. I am a total. I had the anarchist cookbook when I was a kid.
I did too.
Did you?
My parents found it and made me return it.
Oh, really? Oh, my mom. I put it on my Christmas list. My mom ordered it.
No, I think I bought it on eBay or I found it somehow. I heard about it. I was a punk rocker as a teenager.
Okay.
But then my parents saw it. I think I was like, hey, I'm learning how to make a bomb.
Oh, I was making bombs all the time. None of them were working because you realize the anarchist cookbook is fucking just bullshit.
Yeah, no, I bought it.
I was trying to cook up fucking nitroglycerin on my kitchen fucking stove.
Didn't it have acid in there too?
There was acid, yes, and there was all kinds of shit. But then I just kind of went on my own anarchist spree, and I was good. Like I used to just, I found a hookup for like quarter sticks of dynamite. I bought a stick of dynamite down in fucking Mexico and drove it back when I was in high school. And I shot the homecoming queen of my high school with a paintball gun while she was on the float going, because I was like, fuck the school, fuck all this shit. So I just I was pure. And I guess I still, even though invest in the stock market and shit like that.
I've never.
I'm an aging anarchist.
I've known you for like 18 years.
Yeah.
I've never felt more understood.
I get it, dude.
I didn't know this.
Because you know what? Angst, no matter what your socioeconomic level is,
Nothing.
it's the same if you're a kid.
Right.
It's the same.
And then we ended up in the same fucking hellhole down the street.
That's why you got to get rid of stop the race stuff, go with the economic. Because every economic, if you're on the bottom of the economic rung and you bond together, that is the greatest fear of everybody at the top.
What do you mean?
I'm saying stop, ignore the
Ignore
race.
all the division bullshit
Yes.
and focus on your money.
Everybody that's poor needs to get together because it's the same angst.
I'll just say this right at the camera, but poor people, you're so stupid.
Don't listen to them.
You won't get your shit
I believe
together.
you. I believe in you.
You don't.
Yeah.
You believe in poor people?
There's people that we were poor sometimes.
You believe in some poor people, but you don't believe in majority of them.
Yeah. I mean, you have caught me in a bit of a conundrum there because, you know what?
You come from genius hillbillies. You can't hold all the other hillbillies up to your... And then you fled Hillbillyville.
I will say that, like, even like every time somebody came to the motel, and my mom was very charitable, so like people couldn't pay their bills. You know, in the 80s and 70s and 80s, people would stop at a roadside motel. That was just where you stayed on vacation. And then as bigger places came and chains and hotels, then nobody stayed in the 90s. People didn't stay at the motels. And then it became more weekly rate people. Then it was more construction workers looking to fucking, stretch their salary. And then it became just more people down on their luck staying in it. And my mom, if people couldn't pay bills, she would be like, all right, like, you can cut the grass or something. And every time they would cut like a third of the grass and then they would be gone. And days would go by. And then my mom would be like, I'm going to throw you out if you don't finish the grass. And they'd be like, no, I'm going to finish. So a little more gets cut. And then eventually she's like, I'm just going to throw you out. And they're like, why would you do this to me? I just need a break. I just need an opportunity. And after hearing this thousands of times, you start to lose faith in everybody.
You hear that, tenants? You think landlords are evil because we collect your rent and shit? You guys are the retards. You blast your music. You create the problems.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. There is a lot of that. Being a landlord is like, well, you know.
I know.
I mean, you know.
All right, we gotta wrap this up. Do you have anything you want to plug?
Oh, fuck. I should have plugged it earlier. Yes. Check out Slop Quest. It's a podcast I do on Patreon. By the way, if you just type into Google Slop Quest, there's nothing else called Slop Quest. You'll see the YouTube channel. You'll see the Patreon. You can follow me on Instagram at Ryan O'Neill Comedy. Nobody else has had the courage to name anything Slop Quest.
It's the only slop quest out there.
It's the only Slop Quest out there. And that's hard to find.
All right, dude. Well, I'm so happy we did this. I
It's
feel more
great.
connected to you than I ever
I know.
have.
We're gonna go
apocalypse buddies.
We're gonna kiss after this. Kiss on the lips.
You're a landlord who owned what was it called? What was the playbook? What was it? Anarchist Cookbook.
Yeah.
Yep. We are
brothers.
We are brothers.
And who would have thought, after all these years, your people, my people, clashing?
We are the Auschwitz buddy
I know.
comedy. The world didn't know that.
This
we
is
did.
the Irish that you're bonding with the Irish part of me. That's what it is.
Part of him wants to kill me. All right, let's go. Later, guys.
Thank you.